much better. Minus quite the extreme light. Let's try this. Oh, yeah, still pretty grainy, but that'll work. That is perfectly fine. We're going to make sure this stream is actually working. If you were blessed by the last 25 minutes of me talking at a screen, not realizing that it sounded like TV static, big apologies. Let's see if it's working now. Oh, look at that. It is.
Oh, look at that. It is.
We're going to get quite a lot of fun feedback on that.
Oh, look at that. It is.
That's pretty
Quite a lot
good.
of fun feedback
Oh
on that.
my gosh. Yeah. And such a dim. I'll have to bring my actual light if I'm going to do more of these at the office, which is totally fun. But right now, it is what we're doing. And we'll have to see. Okay, the last stream isn't loading, but if you find your way back into my chat, let me know. And if not, I'll try to shout it out later. But shout out to one of my subscribers for pointing out that the audio was just static coming through. And that's what we would call a problem when it comes to live streaming your voice and your video. So, and to anyone who comes back in who did watch some of that stream and just heard static, thank you so much for just leaving immediately and not telling me, but we're back. Which this is actually a format that overall I prefer a little bit more because I think I can screen share a little bit more effectively, which is what we're going to try to do. I actually was getting really bored with the last one I was talking about in terms of the article, but this article, I already talked about it in the failed live stream, but I am going to try to talk about it again in this one, but it'll be much more brief because simply put, I already talked about it, but I think it's fun. So nonetheless, it was Gen Z cannot stop reading these self-help books. Here is why. Now, let's see. Let's see if this works this time around. Oops. If I can get it to load. Yeah, there they are. Okay. Yeah, but that doesn't work on YouTube for some reason. So many kinks to work out with the live stream stuff. If there's a more effective way to do that. There's gotta be. Now I'm just like troubleshooting while I'm talking to people. And that's okay. I might be able to figure out at some point. Pulling on or pulling up some info. I wish you could do a more effective screen share. I don't know why it's not. Maybe I can do, let me try this. This is my last ditch effort for today to see if this works before not wasting any more time. We have finally accomplished it. My goodness. It should be a little bit better fit, hopefully. Yep. Perfect. All my dumb tabs taking up the top of the screen. Nothing embarrassing. Trauma art, therapy effect, $100 million offers. Fantastic. This is when I read a minute ago. Oh, spoiler alert. Gen Z cannot stop reading these self-help books, and here's why. So we're going to learn why from Akanksha Arora. So this Gen Z, roughly, depending on your timeline, would be like between age, 13-ish and 27, something like that. This is allegedly what they're reading. Reading the article, popular. Jeez, getting ahead of myself. I don't know where they gathered this info from. I don't know if this was most popular hashtags on Instagram or what. But we're here for it. So that is what it is. So this is what we're looking at. Book number 1, The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. I think that's how you pronounce her name. This is one that I had never heard of. Brianna, oh wait. Oh, it's not. I thought that was like an album cover for a second. This is what she's up to. Book writing. Pretty new. Pretty good Amazon. I think this is, what is this? Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery. So there you go. Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery. I don't know this one a lot. I like the minimalist cover on it. It's apparently a book that people are reading. Instagram quote-worthy book right there. There you go. So, and hey, there you go. If you watch the channel enough, you know that I talk about this show. Geez. Atomic Habits. As far as I'm concerned, this is a top-tier book. I think it's one that pretty much everyone should read if you want to make any useful habit change in your life. Although, it's not the only way to do it. But if you're feeling stuck and you really want to make progress on something, this book is phenomenal. I think it's a prime example of books that you can read quickly, but you shouldn't. There's nothing wrong with an initial read through to see if you think the book is useful or helpful. But to actually apply what it's talking about properly, you would need to really take your time and maybe take a couple months potentially to read it, because you apply as you go and you pick what you want to work on and you actually work on it. Habit formation is not an overnight change. Those are called overnight changes. It's not a habit formation. So if you would like to learn about it, then do so and read it. And it's fantastic. Heavily endorse it. We're getting ahead again. Jeez. Louise Hay. You can heal your life. This one? Okay. What I was saying before the stream had issues is I view a lot of her stuff as really good for people who love affirmations and mirror talk. And it's really good for just encouraging the self. I would say her mental health stuff is more new age self-help. I don't know if she would describe it that way or her fans would, but I lean more that direction for how I would view her work. Again, maybe that's not quite accurate. I don't know. But it is, I think it's fair. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but her stuff can be helpful. We used some of her cards during trainings in the past, and yeah, great. If you find help from it, fantastic. Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. Again, I've heard of like none of these. I like the cover. I do enjoy a good minimalist cover on any type of book, really. I don't mind a maximalist cover either, to be fair, but a good minimalist cover is fun, as far as I'm concerned. Another one that I haven't heard of much. If you want to be inspired to make positive changes in your life, this is the book for you. Yeah, so I mean, it's all what self-help is, right? People are like, oh, I want this to be better. I said that as like a moping thing, but a lot of them you can boil down to similar things. So it's really just finding the right, I guess, avenue of this being communicated to you. And Brianna Wiest again, coming in clutch with 2 appearances on the top 5 list. think it ends in 5. Yeah, it's just 5. Collection of thought-provoking essays that challenge readers to reevaluate their beliefs, habits, and emotions. The book covers various topics, including self-awareness, mindfulness, happiness, and personal growth. So I do enjoy a good essay book or a vignette book. I am not a Gen Zer, depending on who you ask. I was born in 95, which for some people would not count. For others, it would. But yeah, I think if you, I don't know, if that's for you, then fantastic. If you're a Gen Z and you read these things, let me know. I'm super curious. And if you aren't and you read these things, I guess also let me know, because cool. Good on you. The next book we're going into, or the next, okay, I already found this article and I wanted to bring it up on stream real quick. What's the page we're all sharing here? Okay. Right on. Okay. So I have not looked at this article at all, though. 10 books that understand anxiety better than your therapist might. That could be me, by Girish Shukla. June 27, 2025. This is about a month old. I think this is going to be interesting. I have not looked at this, like I said. Another article coming from timesnownews.com and a website I'm not familiar with at all until today. But we're going to learn if they know something about mental health that I don't as a therapist. These are 10 books that provide unflinching insights into anxiety and mental health. Told through memoirs, critique. I don't need to read all that. But it says it'll understand anxiety better than your therapist might. So we'll see how well I know anxiety compared to these books. And readers can be the judge of that, I guess. Are those spoilers already? Right on. Oh, look, maybe that's another book here in a minute, or another thing in a minute. Boop. All right. First, We Make the Beast Beautiful by Sarah Wilson. Well, I'll tell you what, for starters, I can tell you with confidence that I don't know this book at all. Wait, what did it just do? Let's try that again. Oh, that cover looks familiar. It's a profound exploration of anxiety, offering readers a fresh perspective on the condition. It's a personal journey through anxiety and self-discovery. Okay, so look, already, I'm not going to say I know more about anxiety than her, but this does say this is a personal journey, which means by definition, I can't be more right than she is if it's her own experience. So we're going to say a draw on that one for whether I know more or she knows more. I know my anxiety, she knows hers. Although I think being able to communicate properly through a memoir in any way is really useful. The way you can communicate through language what you're going through is such a very useful task. Or why am I blanking? It's a very useful thing to be able to do. Oh, look, there it is. Fantastic. Oh, see, look, we're getting ahead. We see more. That's all right. Hello, I want to die. Please fix me. Anna Mailer Paperney. Okay, we're coming in with another anxiety book that I've never heard of. Never Not Once. Okay. Illuminates. I could probably just read the actual article I'm taking from. As a journalist who attempts suicide, she interrogates mental health systems while confronting her own recurring depression. Her prose is clean and unsentimental, offering a look at both the systemic failures and the emotional weight of psychiatric illness. Part memoir, part expose, and entirely necessary. Yeah, that could be interesting. Some other stuff I'm reading about. Probably not open my own personal Amazon cart on stream, but that's okay. Cool. Add that to the curiosity list for later. take it out of the stream. I think that'll take it out. Boom, 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 boom. I think that's interesting. Again, a memoir, you can't say someone knows more when it's a memoir, but I would be curious about her investigation into mental health systems and the expose part. Although this does seem like it talks more about depression. So I'm curious how much in anxiety it gets, or if that was just to fill a list out to 10. Okay. On Edge, A Journey Through Anxiety by Andrea Peterson. Another book I have not heard of. What are we looking at here? And this is a very unfamiliar cover. Life with Anxiety. A Journey Through Anxiety. Examination of the science of anxiety, which afflicts some 40 million Americans. This already seems like it's more research-backed. Oh, wait. Personal story. What is the article say? Health reporter for Wall Street Journal. Oh, so it's going to be investigative journalism. Science behind anxiety while tracing her own history. Oh, and personal. I guess all the best ones are, aren't they? They're a bit of both. Blending memoir and research, she brings together cutting-edge neuroscience, pharmacology, and psychotherapy with personal anecdotes that feel deeply familiar. Did all those other words fine, but not that one. That could be interesting as well. We'll add it to the read later list. Maybe. Oh, wait, I don't need to read the picture later. Yeah, I think that could be a good one to read. Does she know more about anxiety than me? Because that's the thing with investigative journalism is you can get focused in on certain avenues. So it just depends on what we're talking about and what specifically she investigated. I think there's a good chance. I mean, most fields, you can know more than the experts by just hyper studying the one thing. So a mental health expert is rarely actually an expert in anxiety. They're an expert in the broader category of mental health, which is why if you have severe anxiety, it's probably better for you to go to someone who specializes. So a professional in the field is not the same as a specialist in the field. So when you need a specialist, not everyone needs specialists. But when you need a specialist, you should go seek that specialist out. So a specialist on anxiety would for sure know more than I would about anxiety. I shouldn't say that. They ought to know more than I do as a non-specialist. Okay. Next book, My Age of Anxiety by Scott Stossel. Fear, hope, dread, and the search for peace of mind. The panic years, to describe a phrase many women face in their late 20s to mid 30s, writing with sharp humor. Wait. Oh my gosh. I just skipped ahead. I didn't think Scott was a woman. Lifelong battle with anxiety. Yeah, see these memoir ones, you just get you can't, it's not comparable. So I think they're really helpful. I like actually some of my favorite writing is memoir style writing. So you just get this raw experience because you can't really debate someone's raw experience, which is I really like. So any hot button topic like politics, pretty much every intersectionality conversation nowadays, religion, all these things, they work really well when you get personal experience because that's just the way that person has experienced life and these situations. And it's one account of many. And it should be taken as such, but it's just a fascinating thing to see. I don't need to copy all these. Panic Years by Nell Frizzle. Oh, the Magic School Bus Lady? Is that her? That's not the Magic School Bus Lady. That's a bummer. Maybe she's a good writer, though. The Panic Years. Okay. Writing with sharp humor and heartfelt honesty. So this is more of a broader medical field issue than mental health field issue, although it's probably all the same everywhere, is a lot of studies have been done on men. And anything that's like a women-focused study or an amalgam between men and women can be interesting because a lot of old research, especially like heart health, was done primarily on men, which I don't know the history well enough to know if that was strictly sexist or what that looked like or why, or the overall benefits are definitely on the research that way. But men and women are different. They're biologically different, and they're completely separate organisms. Obviously, we're all the same species. Our bodies respond to experiences differently, and cultural experiences as well. So, yeah, this could be just interesting. Unpacks how anxiety isn't just neurological; it's socio-cultural, gendered, and deeply entwined with how we measure our lives. Yeah, that's true. The result is both validating and powerfully feminist. So that makes me wonder if this is written mostly for women. It's kind of hard to, I mean, a story is a story, I guess. So yeah, if you get the validation and if you come away feeling like a more powerful feminist, then there you go. The Noonday Demon, an Atlas of Depression by Andrew Solomon. I do think I've heard about this. And he right there, look at that. He endorsed Scott's book up there. This one sounds familiar, though. Is a book by Andrew Solomon that exists. Hey, hang on. That's the second book now that's tried to trick me into thinking this is about anxiety. This is sneaky. Although, if you're unaware, anxiety and depression are pretty linked for a lot of people. That goes unspoken a lot of the times, but there's pretty high comorbidity between being anxious and depressed. Often one pulls the other into existence. That they can be comorbid pretty often. It examines depression in personal, cultural, and scientific terms. Solomon draws on his own struggles with the illness and interviews with fellow sufferers, doctors and scientists, policymakers and politicians, drug designers and philosophers to reveal the subtle complexities and sheer agony of the disease. He also describes his 3 episodes of major depression in detail, from early symptoms through to treatments, in order to provide a first-hand account. That sounds cool. My gut says this is like 800 pages long. Give me the page count. Give me the page count. What's the page count? Dun 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 dun. Noonday Demon. What is it? Tell me. Well, that's an audiobook. Those don't have pages. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? 688 page paperback, 576 hardback. I feel like this dude wrote, you're at the Falling from the Tree book. Yeah, Far from the Tree. I don't know this guy enough. I need to look more into him. He's got some interesting like book ideas when presented. Oh, that book's 970 pages. That's probably why I thought this one might be way longer. Anyway, interesting. That's up there. I'd be interested to read that. An Unquiet Mind by Redfield Jameson. This one also sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, I've seen that cover. Yeah. A Memoir of Moods and Madness. Both a clinical psychologist and a woman with bipolar disorder, giving her unique insight into mental health from both sides of it. Yeah, this is this article is taking some liberties with anxiety. But again, there's a high morbidity with anxiety and depression, but a lot of these seem more depression focused. While focused on manic depression, her discussions on the terror of losing control, the side effects of medication, and the burden of secrecy will resonate with anyone who's lived with anxiety. Yeah, but that's more of like a side effect to the depression. which is not underpinning it. It's just like anxiety as a disorder. It does present different than as an accompaniment to depression. So I think these can be great, but having focused anxiety books is good. Prozac Nation by Elizabeth Wurtzel. With a new afterword by the author. Dude. Young and Depressed in America. Okay. Incendiary memoir. Good. It's fire-filled. Battle with depression and anxiety. Raw, provocative, and wildly confessional. Yeah, again, a lot of memoirs. I was expecting some like scientific ones. 10 books on understanding that. You would think with the title that we'd be getting textbooks, but we're getting memoirs, which is interesting. The Book of Woe, Gary Greenberg. Now, woes sound like a depressing. Oh, the DSM and the, oh my gosh, stop. The Unmaking of Psychiatry. See, that sounds interesting too. The Unmaking of Psychiatry. See, I'm learning a lot. This is why this stream is helpful. The Book of Woe, the DSM. Okay. I've never seen or heard of this. Is that Gary? What's up, dude? I think this would be a fun one to take. I have too many things to read already, but this does look interesting. This does look very interesting. I think we got one more. Yeah. Oh, 10 classic books. Oh my gosh. Okay. Everything is Fine by Vince Granata. Everything is fine. Oh, that was on the that was the top, wasn't it? Ew. Another that's the memoir cover if I've ever seen one. I'll tell you what. Oh my gosh. Let's see it. The Devastating Memoir. My gosh. It is. It's another. Cool. Well, writing is lyrical. Sorry, that's fun. So it's fun to read. And another. All right. Well, that's 10 books that understand anxiety better than your therapist might. The hard part about the final verdict on this video is I've never read a single one of the books, so the verdict is out. But 10 classics that understand loneliness better than most people do. Now, bear in mind, everyone, most without specific clarification just means 51% or more, or over 50% of people. So, a lot of you could still fit this. Many shades of loneliness, emotional, social, and existential, with poignant insight and haunting beauty. Each story captures isolation through unforgettable characters, offering readers a profound connection to the quiet ache of being alone. The quiet ache of loneliness. Well, we're getting spoiled already with seeing Ethan Frome and The Metamorphosis up top, and Jude the Obscure. But if you can guess the other 7, I'll be curious. Now is the chance to drop those. What's it going to be? The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Classics are more up my alley. I've not read one, but it's supposedly good, as classics are. Esther Greenwood's Descent into Depression. So my thing, because this is probably going to be more commonly read books, if you're watching this and you have read any of these, let me know if you genuinely think, geez, they speak to loneliness better, or that they understand loneliness well, is probably the best way, because I don't know. I've never read The Bell Jar. Oh, that's not the cover I'm used to. That's a fanciful cover. Where's the actual classic cover? Come on. That one. That be the one. That's what I'm used to. What's next? The Catcher in the Rye. I've read that one. That's an interesting one to say. Loneliness. It's been a long time though. I probably read that 14 years ago. I guess I didn't read it through that lens, but I couldn't tell you what the emotional lens was. It felt like just a dry slice of life book at the time when I read it. That would be a good reread. Yeah, the cynicism and just general disdain attitude. And I think he has a scene with I remember a scene with a lady of the night, to be age appropriate, where it's just like dialogue, and that feels sad reading that. But Of Mice and Men. Yeah, I was gonna say loneliness doesn't feel like the right word. The book is I think that's like the go-to book. I've told my wife this. If you want to try to get a dude to cry, having them read Of Mice and Men, get them to cry from reading, that might be one of the closest books that can do it. And it's so short, but it's like one of the saddest guy stories. Anyone can have emotion reading it. But I think for guys, it's just so sad, like the brotherly love piece. And yes, I'd view it more as this brotherly love and camaraderie despite the hatred of the world around you. And that's where the depressive feeling comes in. But I can understand the loneliness piece, like it says here, isn't just circumstantial, it's systemic, woven into the fabric of survival and loss. Yeah, I mean, culturally, the book is very much, I don't argue with that. Crazy. Rough read. The Metamorphosis. Oh, geez, I'm skipping ahead. So that one to me, when I read it, felt more like a light body horror depiction of commercialism and capitalism in this destructive American dream, which the book is not about the American dream. That's not why that was written, but just what is the psychological toll of prolonged and inescapable loneliness. Again, I didn't get a sense of loneliness so much as just a sad way of living, but isolation was in there. So I guess to me that felt like more of a sub theme of if you follow this lifestyle, this non-rewarding thing that just fulfills the system, you will find yourself empty. So not a criticism of the article poking on loneliness, but yeah. Mrs. Dalloway. What is this book? I've never read this. Clarissa Dalloway prepares for a party while drifting through London in her own consciousness. Reflecting on time, loss, and connection, parallel to her journey is that of Septimus Warren Smith. What a name. A war veteran unraveling mentally, Woolf's narrative reveals solitude not just in trauma, but also within societal rituals and expectations. Mrs. Dalloway captures how one can be deeply surrounded by people, yet still be swallowed by profound and private loneliness. Yeah, loneliness is not connected with time with people necessarily. So I haven't read it, so I don't have comments, but yeah. The Stranger by Albert Camus. I've read a couple pages of this. My whole family seemed to be starting to read this over Christmas this last year, and I haven't read it yet, but I'd like to. I'm kind of going to skip this a little bit because I really want to read this soon. So I'm not going to dive too much into it. Ethan Frome. Oh, dude, that book was freaking sad. Ethan Frome. I would not say that was like a fun book. It's just, I guess I don't use the word lonely that often when I think about reading a book. I just think sad. I think it's sad because I feel like the loneliness was just self-imposed. And again, I read this in high school, but trapped in a loveless marriage and denied the warmth of true affection. And again, the ending of it, not to spoil it, you just read it and you're like, how sad. I felt so bad for his wife in it. I don't know. Again, I don't remember it perfectly, but I just remember not liking him at all and feeling really bad for his wife. And I don't know if that was the intended read. It's been a while, but sad is appropriate. Notes from Underground. I'm going to skip this one because I really want to read this by Dostoevsky. I think it's up there with The Stranger I want to read. So apparently now it's about loneliness. A Single Man by Christopher Isherwood. Ooh, not only have I not heard of the book, I've never heard of the author. Interesting. Is that Colin Firth? What a guy. Look at him doing adaptations. A Single Man. Oh my gosh. The amount reading these articles, the amount of times poignant is used in a book description. I've only looked, this is a lot of poignant. The poignant. It explores themes of grief, loneliness, and identity through the eyes of George Falconer, a middle-aged professor coping with the death of his partner. His long-term partner, Jim. I'm assuming this is a romantic partner. Is it? Does not even bring that up here. Yeah. The weight of queer loneliness. So it's got to be romantic then. George and Jim. Interesting. All right. Another. Oh, there. It's a cool cover. Right on. Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. I know of Thomas Hardy. Fantastic author. Dang it. I was trying to make a joke saying fantastic actor, and I said author. He's a good writer, though. They're different people, I'm aware. What a bomb on that joke. That's okay. It's his last completed novel, exploring themes of ambition, societal constraints, and personal tragedy through the life of Jude Fawley, a working-class man with dreams. Is Fawley supposed to be like folly? Like, oh, poor guy. Isolation builds not from one event, but from a lifetime of crushed hopes. There you go. So, yeah, that is, according to Times Now News, Girish Shukla wants us to know these are the books that understand loneliness better than most people do. Yeah, now for a deeper read. I think I'll do one more. 8 books. Wait. Okay, 8 books. Oh, wait. Oh, this is a part 2. 10 classic books that understand loneliness better. And then 8 just normal books that understand loneliness more. Okay. He did this in June. Is it the same author? Hang on. Oh, Girish. It is. Girish wrote this in April. He must like classics. And then like 2 months later, Girish was like, I need to do more of this. We're going to skip him. I keep saying he. Yeah, okay, good. I don't know that name girl. Okay. All right. My Year of Rest and Relaxation. This one, I see this on bookshelves all the dang time. And I've never read it. Disclosure, I'm probably not going to have read any of these because I don't read a lot of modern books. I'm not a, what's the word? I've blanked on a lot of words today. I'm not a snob. I just don't read a lot of modern fiction. Decides to sedate herself for a year, retreating from the world's expectation and her own numbness. Beneath the dark comedy lies an aching meditation on disconnection, apathy, and isolation. I see this on shelves a lot, so I know it's popular. The Lonely City by Olivia Lang. Adventures in the Art of Being Alone. Did it say novels? Just books. Oh, these could be nonfiction. Is it her personal story becomes a framework for examining artists like Andy Warhol, blending memoir criticism and cultural history. So yeah, that could be interesting. Just like the depression article on depression. Is what I said? The depression article on depression. I'm tired. This is good. This is the last list. Of Human Bondage by W. Somerset Maugham. Ooh, that name's super familiar. Why? Why? The AI of human bondage. Is that why it's familiar? 1915 novel. Mr. Malcolm, hello. What did you write? Maybe it is that. Is this the big one? His big book? His MO? He kept busy. All right. I think it is. Where is it? There it is. What is it about? Philip Carey's journey is riddled with longing for love, belonging, and understanding. Born with a disability, he grows up searching for significance in art, religion, and people. Malcolm crafts a deeply vulnerable character whose need for connection constantly brushes against disappointment. Okay. Well, it's a portrait of longing that feels as immediate now as when it was first written. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Cool. Department of Speculation by Jenny Awful. Off ill? Or awful? Interesting name. It's newer. Received positive reviews. This is like a kiss of death on Goodreads, though. 3.8. 3.5 on Barnes. 3.9. Again, I think I said this in another video. I don't really care about these scores, but I know some of you snobs out there will see this and just gag looking at this number on Goodreads, but that is what it is. A poignant, look, okay. Look, I'm going to break this live stream up into multiple videos. Poignant that's probably the 50,000th time it's appeared in this like 40-minute live stream. So you're going to know that word very well if you read articles about books or look into books. Exploration of marriage, intimacy, and the complexity of domestic life told through the lenses of navigating the challenges of love and motherhood. But why is it called speculation? The narrative is agreeable, rhyme, but beneath the sharp observations lies a devastating emotional fracture. This sounds super sad. Right on. Next book, The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I do think that author sounds familiar. Is he the one that was at the top of the page? Might have been. 1990 book? Did I read that right? A loyal English butler reflects on a life devoted to service while suppressing emotion and human connection. Oh, that's interesting. So choosing the life of a butler and then regret. Oh, shoot, what did I just do? And then regretting it. What did I just do? What is that button? No thanks. Interesting. That could be really good as well. Open Water. Man, see, doing the modern book stuff is not going to be my forte at all. I don't even know that cover. The name does sound familiar, actually, the author name. Caleb Azuma Nelson. But why does it sound familiar? This lyrical novel explores what it means to feel unseen. The protagonist, a young black photographer in London, finds intimacy with a dancer but struggles with vulnerability in a world that reads his body before his soul. Passionate. Oh, there it is. Nothing like a good book with sunglasses and ice cream, tell you what. A love song to black art and thought. Oh, I thought there was more. Okay. Yeah, right on. Outlined by Rachel Cusk. Clever. Whoever did that design. I don't love this book cover. That's a very clever design given the book title. It hardly speaks of herself. Instead, she listens. Okay. Oh, is it like being in the background and experiencing the world around you? Athens strangers pour their lives into her silence, but the silence is a story that through this conversation, her own loneliness is revelated. Yeah. Words are expiring me at this point. Fantastic. All right, another one looks interesting. Let's do the last one. Haruki Murakami, Norwegian Wood. I do know this author more than a lot of the other ones here as well. Just never read though. He has a really interesting. Yeah, this. Wait, is it this one? He's got an interesting overall book cover design pattern that he used. Kurt Vonnegut has one too. I love when authors or their publishers pick like a really consistent art style. Like thematically, they're the same. It's not. It isn't this one, even though that's what's showing up all the time. Am I thinking of the right person? I might not be. It might not be Murakami. I think it is because he did 1Q84. I don't know. Maybe I've just seen a different collection. Through Toru Watanabe's Memories of Youth, Norwegian Wood becomes a study in how loneliness shapes us. Surrounded by friends, love interests, and the chaos of university life, Toru still feels suspended in melancholy. Yeah, we ended up with melancholy and grief-related stuff today, and you know what? That is okay. We'll probably go ahead and call it there for this one, and yeah, glad I could get the screen sharing part to work. And again, he never hopped back on. Let me see if it loaded because I want to give proper shout out for whoever really helped me out with that. Yeah, dang. That's okay. But thank you to, you know what? No. I am going to take a second. So I might start to do more of these types of live streams in the future. I think they're a lot of fun. And I just think it would be cool to do more of them. And then I can pull videos because I want to do the article reviews anyway, you know? That's like, I'm wanting to do that and do more of them, but it's not always, I don't know, trying to find the time. And something about just doing this type of live stream style makes it just more fun, I think. So, yeah, I plan to do some more of these, and yeah, I can't find it. But shout out to my subscriber who told me that the last stream it sounded like freaking Sprite being rubbed against styrofoam. Just insane. So, yeah, there's this one instead. So don't go watch that last live stream if it's still up because you're going to hurt your ears. But anyway, we'll call it there. Right on. Cool. So now I get the wonderful privilege of trying to remember how to end a live stream, which you would think is obvious. Oh, look, there it is. So this is me being tired, even though it says end stream right on my screen. Anyway, see y'all later. Or rather, good night. See ya.